Hello everyone. In today's lab practical video, we will explore the anatomy of the human eye using a model, examine a real cow eye through dissection and review key histological structures of the eye under the microscope. Make sure please follow along carefully as we go through each structures you need to know for your exam. This is a terminology you should be able to know before you're going to take the lab practical. This one model, this is specific for that cow eye anatomy. What is the main function of this particular organ? Eye is an organ. The function is the vision. So we're going to look at that each structures from that superficial to deep. So we're going to go over that mainly human eye anatomy. So it's going from that anterior to that posterior, and whatever that covering, what are that what is the inside of that eye structure, how they function. So those are the things we're going to explain in this lab. We will begin with the human eye model. Pay close attention as we identify that cornea. Cornea is the anterior portion. This is anterior. This is posterior. So if you look at someone, this is what you see first, this portion. You don't see any of this portion. You cannot see. This is what we see. First one, cornea. Anterior portion over here. So this one going posteriorly, you can see this white color. When you look at somebody's eyes, this is what you see, the white color structure, which is clear. So you see that cornea, sclera we study. Now we're going to look at that iris. This portion over here, which give that color. Some of you maybe have a light brown color or hazel, blue, green, these kind of color. This color is coming from this iris. Then you see pupil, this opening over here, this opening, pupil, light enter this way. So here this is a lens. So when you dissect it, this lens is very hard, but it's real. It's not like that. It's a living cells. This is the anterior portion, like I mentioned. This is the anterior segment. This chamber-like structure is like a cavity, anterior segment. So this anterior segment contains something called aqueous humor. See this one, aqueous humor. So then this is a posterior segment behind this lens, this portion. This contains vitreous humor. So this aqueous means, aqua means water. So this is very liquidy structure. When you dissect, you see the liquid like that fluid is coming out. But when you going over here in the posterior segment is what? Cavities. So inside there is a jello-like structure which is a vitreous humor. That's really important, that vitreous humor. That is keep this retina in that place. Think about nothing to push it towards this wall. Everything can fall into that cavity. So it will push into that wall around it. So this is a vitreous humor. So now you got an anterior segment, posterior segment. Anterior segment contain aqueous humor, posterior segment contain vitreous humor. Any questions? Just pause it and look at that. Then this is the ciliary bodies over here. This one. The ciliary body, I will show you. This thread-like structure. It's a ligament which is connecting that lens to that ciliary body. Then another thing you see over here, retina, which is a yellow color structure. This dark reddish color, this is a choroid. Outer you see sclera. So there are 3 layers. Sclera, very rough. That's outer layer. That's a white color you see when you look at someone. Then inside there is a choroid. Lot of blood vessels in this region, choroid. Then innermost layer is the retina. So here you can see that spot over here. That's called that fovea, macular lutea. Is the pointy part over here, which is the fovea centralis. If any lights hits over here with that image, you see perfect vision. See clearly that there's a lot of rods and cones accumulate in this region. Now you see over here, this part, you see a lot of blood vessels. The axon from that nerve cells exit out. This is called optic disc or blind spot. Where any lights hits over here, you don't see. That is why called a blind spot. This is a nerve cells is coming out, which is an optic nerve. When we study brain, you see optic nerve, which is a cranial nerve number 2, that is coming from this one. So here the light pathway is going from here to here, it's here. So you can see that layer over here, neural layer of retina. There are pigmental layer of retina. Then that choroid. Then this one is a sclera. Sclera is white color. The brown color is choroid. Then that pigmental layer of retina. You can see. So this is the same thing what we studied earlier. From anterior to posterior is the lateral side. Only this showing some external muscles. You can see over here. This is the lateral view. So lateral rectus muscle, medial rectus muscle. So two of them you can see on this model. So you can see those three layers, sclera, choroid and retina. This is a neural layer, nerve cells, blood vessels, then the outer covering. So then also this is a posterior segment which has a vitreous humor. So lens over here. So this choroid on the posterior come anteriorly, forming that ciliary body with the ciliary muscle, with the ciliary process. Which is that ligaments I mentioned, that's the suspensory ligaments which are connected to eye. Think about this is a cavity. It's a this lens need to be hanged inside that cavity. That's hanged by that suspensory ligaments. Then we study about pupil. Iris is a colored part, cornea and lens. In the anterior cavity or segment, there are two things again that. There is a posterior chamber and anterior chamber. This is in the anterior cavity. Then the posterior segment is behind that. So now we're going to see that cow eye dissection. So these are the main things we are going to see. One of the things, tapetum lucidium, I didn't mention in that first list. You need to know that. So this one, you don't see that it's in human eye. So because this is see behind that retina. This mainly you see that nocturnal animals that improve night vision, but like I said that human doesn't have this layer. So from the cow eye, this is the anterior, posterior portion. So from here to go down, you're going to see that. You can see that iris, colored part, pupil, this here. This again, this one what, cornea, pupil, lens. When this is a longitudinal cut. Sometimes we do cross section like this, cut like this. You can see separate this, and you can different ways you can dissect this cow eye. You can see three layers in this. When you dissect, you see this really dark color choroid. Then you see that towards the posterior here you see that tapetum lucidium, which is metallic in color, metallic, bluish, greenish, metallic color. This is a vitreous humor, is in the posterior segment. Retina is this light white color structure, membrane. Then sclera is a tough outer covering. There are muscles. You should be seeing that superior, medial, lateral, inferior rectus muscle. Also to that oblique muscles, it would be see on the eye model. So it's holding that eye in that eye socket. So also that optic nerve is coming out from here. See this one. You can see this area is cornea. Okay, this is a sclera. When you look at somebody, this is what you see. Cornea white color. This is the sclera is white color. Cornea is transparent. You don't see. Then you can see that this portion is a pupil. This is the iris, the colored portion. Vitreous humor is a jello-like structure in that posterior segment. See, this is a lens. Ciliary body muscles with the body, which is suspensory ligaments is over there attached to that lens. This is a cross section. Sometimes I do cross section with my students, sometimes we do longitudinal, depends on what we have to look at that clearly. So outer tough region again, sclera, cross section. So this one iris, this is a dark color structure. This is all ciliary body with the ciliary muscle. So lens is taken out like this. This is a marking, this is colored from here. Vitreous humor. So you can see that the jello-like structure. It's not like a loose, like a water, like aqueous humor, but it's just like a jello-like structure. Again, this is the one. You can look at that cornea. You can take a second to look at those things what we study. If you want to pause it and go over those materials. This is you looking from that cross section, looking from inside to outside. So cornea, usually you see from that other side. This is from inside to outside you looking. So it's also like that. This is this one you see that that's a retina is a cover around this posterior segment. For the retina, when you take that vitreous humor, this is all come into that chamber. So he can clearly see that metallic colored tapetum lucidium in that cow and sheep, those kind of animals whoever want night vision, who do the night vision. This is the retina folding. Then choroid, then sclera. So here why I'm showing the brain. This is a like we said that optic nerve is coming out in the posterior structure from the eye. So I want to look at that. So here's coming out. This one come into that brain. It has to go to the brain to interpret and things. So it will come over here. So the eye, this is the eye. Think about right and left eye. So come over here. This is a optic nerve. See, optic nerve. So optic nerve is the cranial nerve. Number 2. They cross over here. That is called optic chiasm. So it will go from here right side to the left side of the brain, left side to that right side of the brain. So that was the dissection and model. Now we're going to go over that histology. What is a histology? Mainly we looking at that inner chambers, retina, choroid, sclera, how they are arranged. In that especially retina, those nerve cells, how they arrange, what are the different types of nerve cells you see. So finally we look at the histological slide. Histology means what? Tissues. We're looking at the tissues. Histological slide, I focus on identifying the layers of retina, including photoreceptors layer, bipolar cell layer, and ganglion cell layer. Sometimes we see that ciliary body, some other structures. So here this is vitreous chamber, which is that this portion vitreous in that posterior segment. We're looking at from here to here. So you see that the retina should be that first layer, retina layer. Then the next portion, the brown color, is what? Choroid layer. Then next one is a sclera. It's a histology. When you look at through the microscope, the slides, this is what you see. Then is here, this is a optic nerve. This is a one, is a big optic nerve. Then the muscles should be over here attaching that eye into that socket. So this is a external rectus muscle. So we're going to, those are the things we see. This is a whole eye structure, is pretty much the posterior part of the eye muscle. So this specifically for that is a higher magnification, is a retina. So from here the light, so the retina first, you know that, then choroid, sclera. So when you see that choroid, this is a darker structure, there's one over here. Then the blue structure should be that sclera over here. Then inner it should be that retina. Retina has different layers. So the retina, when you look at that, there are rod cells. There are two different types of cells, mainly rods and cones. Rod cells, which is in between, this is a one rod cell. This is a rod cell, this is a rod cells. They are mainly for that seeing dark and black and white images, dim light, those kind of time these cells works. Then cone cells, these cells which is for that color vision, bright light. So this is that is a photoreceptors. Those are the photoreceptors. Then these are the nucleus for those photoreceptors. You can see nucleus. You can see over here cones and rod cells over here. See different types of cells. This is a layer we're talking about. This. So it's enlarging maybe that 400x. You can see that the nucleus over here, or the nucleus for this layer. This one has the cones, which is a color vision. These are the ones rod cells. This one rod cells, cone cells and rod cells. Those are the photoreceptors, like I mentioned. This is a neural layer. Those are the neural layer. This is a pigmented layer of the retina. There are two different types of layers, neural layer and pigmented layer. Pigmented epithelium you would be seeing here. This, don't confuse with this one and this. This is a choroid, blood vessel. This is a part of the retina. This a choroid is a other layer for that eye itself. Then it's clear. So make sure you highlight this one, understand what it is. This is the nucleus of that photoreceptors, choroid layers. So make sure you understand all these things. Pause it just to make sure you try to identify these letters. What is this? What is this one? Sclera. This one, choroid. What is this? Retina. Vitreous humor. Lens. Ciliary body with the ciliary muscles. Suspensory ligaments. Iris. Cornea. This is if you ask in this portion, this is a optic disc. What is this? Optic nerve. Macula densa, fovea centralis. Make sure you look at these structures, okay? Go over those things, okay? Go over these things, study. Do well on the lab practical. If you have any question, comment, or just send me an email.